and Christian Bale. Here, the writer and director of the film, Mr. Adam McKay.
I don't know that I ever have come to believe it's a good idea.
Really, it is.
I did get told that Adam, my agent, has said, "Oh, Adam wants to send you something. What's it about?" It's about Dick Cheney, and I thought, "Oh, I wonder what part he's thinking of me for." And then we just had a deal because it's of course it's a crazy idea, isn't it? It seems like a typo to say Christian Bale as Dick Cheney. But it was also an almost impossible challenge. Like it's sort of just within the galaxy of possible, but about to leave that galaxy, right? So that was exciting to me. Like, really? You know, he's a smart guy. I had a great time on The Big Short. Really? You think I could do that? And so it was an interesting thing of can we actually achieve that, and the challenge of that. And then we were up against the clock, as we always are with any film, you know, and we just had a deal. I said, all right, can you let me sort of just move along, and we'll do, yes, you know, working with the wonderful Greg Canham and Chris Gallagher, who did the prosthetics, and me just doing my research and trying to, absolutely, please give a round of applause. And me doing my research and sort of then getting close to the point where it's like, Christian, you've got to say you're in or you're not, you know. Which also he knew, I think, me, that by the time I was that far in, I was like, I'm in no matter what, even if this is going to be the worst mistake and worst casting ever, I'm in, you know, with that. But he's batshit crazy and brilliant, and that's just a wonderful combination for a director.
When obviously it lives or dies by how convincing you are as Dick Cheney with not only the prosthetics, but say in the movie, or are you like practicing ordering in and out in the voice of Dick Cheney?
No, all the time. Doing that all the time. Actually, it's quite funny. I was just showing a friend of mine. You know, on your iPhone, how you get. They said to me, "How did you study that?" I said, "I just watched him endlessly. I just watched endless documentaries and interviews with him and photographs and all that." And you know, on your iPhone, the way that it gathers together the most popular people that you photographed, right? And it makes memories of them. I've got tons of memories of Dick Cheney that come up on my phone all the time. And when you look at people, it's my wife, my son, my daughter, and Dick Cheney who come up. And sometimes it blends all of them in with Dick going, well, the weapons of mass destruction, and then uplifting music mixes in with it in that way too, you know. But to definitely taking the pressure off, the idea was that, right, an impression kind of gets dull after maybe 10 minutes. It's fascinating, brilliant, you know, people do it. I'm not very good impersonator in that manner, but we were just hoping for the essence of the manner.
Do you have plans to delete those pictures off your phone?
Strangely, I'm a very confused person when it comes to Cheney, because I have very good memories of making this film, so I do look at Mr. Cheney and go, good times. You know?
Amy, obviously for most of you, although not Tyler, which we'll get to in a second, you weren't exactly talking to the people that you're playing much, or if at all. I was so fascinated by your portrayal of Lynn Cheney as kind of like the puppet master behind the puppet master, almost like a stage mom in really interesting ways. What were you excited to kind of go for and bring to this amazing character?
What's amazing about Lynn is there's actually a lot of footage of her. She's not somebody who hid behind her husband. You know, she had her own career, and there was quite a bit of footage for me to pull from. But the thing that I identified with was, it's funny because I'm sort of the same thing. I get kind of defensive of Lynn. I'm like, she did not pull the strings. He made his own decision, you know? And I get really defensive because I kind of had a great time making the film, and she reminded me of my grandmother, like the best parts of my grandmother, like this really outspoken, pioneering woman who is just gonna, you know, pick herself up from her bootstraps and make it happen. I mean, she had a really rough upbringing. She, you know, she has a lot of a great romance with American history. You know, there was so much to dig into. that when I started really getting into her, what I loved was the relationship. And this opportunity to develop this relationship between Dick and Lynn, which I think is very tight and really moving in a strange way, a very Shakespearean way.
It is Shakespearean.
Well, first when I got the call, I said, wait, what? I was like, Christian, like, is that a typo? Tyler Perry's Colin Powell? I'm like, come on. I can't see it, but let's figure it out. So I called him because I wanted to just be respectful. And there, in the African American community, there are very few heroes that we look up to, and he is one that is revered. And I wanted to make sure that if I did this, it would honor him. So we had a great conversation. The first thing he did was, you need to read my book. Once you read my book, we'll talk. So he sent me the book, and I read the book, and I thought, okay, this is going to be really, really great. So I was very, very honored to be a part of it.
Are you excited for him to see it? Are you nervous?
Worried. That's a phone call that I'm looking forward to because I think I personally think that he's going to enjoy the movie a great deal. But when you're portraying someone who's living, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. You never know what their opinion will be.
I am not looking forward to the phone call with
Your
him.
phone call. That's right. I'm with you.
I'm teasing.
I'm with you.
Adam, I feel like you perfected this art of making, with The Big Short, with making a movie that's kind of equally entertaining, illuminating, and infuriating. And I think you've kind of matched yourself here. Is it fun for you to deal with that balance of all of those different things and making sure that we're learning something, we're also challenged, but we're also a little pissed off?
Yeah, it's, I think at a certain point, the norm became that we're supposed to just watch movies that are entertaining, or we're supposed to just watch movies that have explosions or laughs. And I guess I'm a bit of a nerd in the sense that I find this stuff really fascinating. So I just try and highlight it. When it came to the fake ending or the Shakespeare, it was like, oh my God, this is an incredible moment. Like, if Cheney says no to being VP, history changes. And, I would tell my youngest daughter, Pearl, from The Landlord, if anyone knows her, and I would tell her, and she would say, Dad, that's boring. And so I knew I had to highlight it a little bit. And one of the great things about film and the history of film is there's no rules. It's just, does it work? Does it fit a narrative, emotional arc? So yeah, it's been really freeing and exciting to dive into stories from this different direction.
And for Christian and Amy, it's so cool that you guys are now making you've made your third movie together after American Hustle and The Fighter. Woo! Is it just mind-blowing to explore all these different kinds of characters and relationships? Did you really freak out about what the other one was doing in this movie compared to the other ones that you've done?
I didn't. No, Christian can do anything. So I'm just, I think Christian can do anything. And his commitment and his talent is unparalleled. And I'm just thrilled to get to go along with him on those rides, because if you are able to allow yourself and to commit and to let go, it's a wonderful ride as an actor to get to work with somebody like Christian Bale.
And absolutely, likewise with Amy, you don't get better than Amy. And we've had, I love those films. All three that you mentioned, they're wonderful. So far we got a pretty good track record, I feel. And yeah, I know that it's enjoyable to get obsessive, isn't it? It's nice to be obsessive, and I always worry about doing interviews because that's what we do, and I always think like, oh, I'm going to ruin everything that we worked out so hard by a couple of silly comments here. But I love doing that, right? And she's so bloody good at it, and also she's right there with me in enjoying the craziness of it and how obsessive you want to get with it, and I've never caught her sort of looking sideways like, what is he doing? She's right there, and I hope I'm there as supportive as well, and so I hope we do many more.
Absolutely. Tyler, when you think about everything that you kind of researched and read and thought about and learned in the process of making